That's borola.
Not that exciting.
I know.
You know. All right. Then you have to go to that condiment shelf in your, you know,
putting
in your
on the
refrigerator.
barbecue sauce. Yeah.
So what I have here is, I didn't bring in chops today. I brought in veal tenderloin just because it's going to cook a little bit faster.
Okay.
Now what we do is we put it in between pieces of plastic. That does a couple things. It prevents it from sticking to the mallet, and also it allows it to spread out. All right, because the plastic's kind of slick.
By the way, do you recommend everyone use a mallet and, you know, your chicken, and is all meat better if you...
What you want to do is, like things like a chicken breast, if you notice chicken breasts are kind of fat on one side and skinny on the other.
Yes.
If you pound it out so it's all the same thickness, it cooks at the same rate.
Okay.
So you don't have that dry end and the...
Even if you're doing that on the grill, would you want to pound it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, and
absolutely.
what side do you use?
Now, this is the violent side. That's the side that attracts the guys to it. They're like, oh, I got to get one of these, right?
Okay.
But this is the side you're really going to use, especially with a tender cut of meat, okay? And all you're going to do is just tap it gently to shape it.
Okay,
right?
why is it important to do it gently? Why can't I go to town?
Well, because you don't want to rip the meat and you don't want to tear holes into it.
Okay,
right?
so you can kind of get a feel for how tender it is, and if it starts to separate, you know you've done a little too much.
You take your hand, run your hand across the top, and if it feels it's about the same thickness.
It's level? Okay, I can
And because
use
this is so thin, all we're doing is shaping it, and it's real tender. It's veal.
Okay, very nice.
So that's
is that about
perfect.
enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we dredge it in flour and just pan-seared it. Now to make our sauce, I took some bacon and some shallots, and I didn't have to add any oil to this because the bacon's going to render out and create its own fat. Then what we do is something called deglazing, and I'm using red wine.
Okay, this is just a typical Pinot Noir. You don't even have to buy any cooking wine. You want to just use.
Don't buy cooking wine.
Why is that?
Cooking wine is cheap wine with salt and sugar and stuff like that added to it.
Do you ever use cooking wine?
Never.
Oh, is that right?
All right? So you're better off going out and buying a decent bottle of wine for $4 or $5.
Okay.
If you wouldn't drink it, don't cook with it.
Wow, I've not heard that before, Jon-Paul.
So throw in about a quarter cup of that.
Quarter cup, that's about right, maybe?
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, and what we want to do is get all those good brown bits off the bottom, okay? And then I have, this is called veal glaze. Now check this out. Look, it's like, So,
that, I have to say, is freaky to me because I think that adds just a whole bunch of fat, but that's probably
it's not. There's no fat in it.
There's no fat in that. Does that not look fatty to you all?
It's actually gelatin.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so when you make high quality stock, it creates gelatin.
Oh.
All right, Jell-O actually comes from pork and veal and beef.
I didn't know that. Is there a shortcut to this, like a little gelatin packet, or do you have to make your own?
You can make your own, but actually you can
this?
buy it now. So if you go to some of the high-end stores, Whole Foods.
Save you a little time.
Yeah, and you can buy little bits of it.
So isn't that the key to the
Then we reduce that down. Oh, it's amazing. But this is what gives it the body. So the only fat that we have in there is a little bit of bacon, but you can even strain that bacon out and get the fat out.
But that's very little. And here's the pomegranate juice.
And then pomegranate juice.
Easy though. Again, it's not like we have to use the whole pomegranate and extract the juice.
Well, if you ever tried to extract juice from a pomegranate, it takes like 2 men and a boy. All right, because you have all those little seeds in there. It's a pain.
Like getting water from a stone.
But this is rather inexpensive now. A year ago it was pretty pricey. And then just add that in.
Boy, that's got to give it a kick. What a neat flavor.
Because it has that kind of acidic flavor to it, it really cleans it up.
Okay.
And then we reduce it down until it just has this nice consistency to it.
Are you looking at 30 minutes? Are you looking at 10?
This whole sauce from start to finish took about 15 minutes.
That is it. And you can dress up just your basic veal chop. And you said it's just flour that you pop that in with a little olive oil?
Just flour, a little salt, and I cooked it in olive oil.
In olive oil.
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, that's the whole dish.
And you just grilled those veggies and voila.
I didn't even grill them. I sauteed them in this pan. So when I walked in, I just threw them in the pan, put them in the dish. Look at that incredible meal for dinner tonight. Jon-Paul, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're welcome.
For this recipe, go to SonoranLiving.com right after noon today. And now it's time to toss it on out to Kaylee, live at the Biltmore this morning.